Hi, I'm Sam. I'm down at the bike shed today with my Honda NX650 flat tracker. So the project came about because me and the old man restored quite a few vintage British bikes that were handed down from my granddad. He's the engineering side, I'm on the mechanical side. We fancied giving flat tracking a go. As a kid, On Any Sunday was always on TV and I just loved the style. So I thought, let's build a bike and let's go racing. But a lot of people in the Thunder class at least are running a Rotax, normally from a CCM, and I fancied something different. Did a bit of research, found a Honda 650 single, XR, NX650, SLR 650, all the same engine. It's a good competitor for a Rotax. Had a look on eBay, found this one in Enfield. It looked like it had been someone's garden for quite a few years. Looked very sorry for itself really, but he said it was a runner. So we popped down, it had a flat battery and he had nothing to jump it off, so it was a bit of a gamble. The chain was seized up relatively solid, so it was a nightmare to push. I knocked him down massively on the price. So we got it home, jump started it off a transit van, fresh fuel in the carb, and it fired up first click. We couldn't want for any more for that. So we started stripping it down, and slowly as we rebuilt it, it became quite a nice bike, and we spent a lot of time on the small bits. And we made a decision that we couldn't really go racing and risk sliding it down a track. So it's now my Sunday ride. I ride it every weekend, every other weekend, usually in the summer, but it's a very nice bike to ride. It pulls really strong. So because of how the bike turned out, we thought we'd take a risk and we entered it into the bike shed show in 2018, and they wanted it there, so we took it along. It was great to be part of the show. Building a bike in your garage, you never expect it to get as much attention as sometimes it does. People were laying down, looking at all the small things, and they couldn't believe at how much work had gone into the bike from where it began and how it looks now. So enough about the bike, let's show you some small details and we'll give you a little run through. So being a flat tracker, it has to have 19-inch rims. I spoke to SM Pro, gave them all the specs, and they sent us over the new rims and the stainless spokes, and we laced them in the garage, me and the old man again, with a KTM hub. Luckily for us, Maxxis flat track tyres are road legal, so we run them purely for style. It really suits the bike. Most people, again, in the Thunderbike class and DTRA run an R6 fork, so we went for them, keep it nice and low, give it a nice stance. Obviously being originally built for flat tracking, we had to use number boards. There was just no other choice for it, I had to have them. So the 87 is a number that's been inherited. My old man used to race as it, so I've just picked up on it and I've always run that now. eBay special headlight, nice and square, keeps it nice and tight in the number board. The yokes are the R6 yokes, just so they fit nice. It's a Dominator stem. We pressed the old R6 one out, made a new spacer for the Dominator stem, pressed it back in. It just keeps nice and tight on all the bearings, keeps it nice and simple. We're using these Renthal high-rise bars. I think they're designed for a street fighter, but they give a nice flat tracker look, but they're still nice and narrow, so if you're stuck in any traffic you can weave in and out. It's just a really nice riding position. The switchgear we got from Trail Tech, the same as the dash. Headlight switch, it has another kill switch, but I use that as a horn button now because obviously it's a road legal bike. Using the KTM hub and brake, I've had to use the KTM master cylinders, and I found this nice ASV lever that was in a sale somewhere, and I just think it's just a nice addition rather than a long cast lever, just a nice short stubby lever. And again, the same for the clutch side. The tank is a CG125 tank, an old sort of 70s, 80s CG125, which everyone recognises. It holds a nice amount of fuel, but it's a really nice style, a nice flat bottom to it. To get it to fit the Dominator tank, it took a lot of work underneath. We did a lot of dressing of the metal work just to get it nice and low and nice, and so it hugs the engine almost. It's all paint, there's no stickers on this at all. We got Norman Dale in Daventry, who's a friend of ours, who's really good at his job. He was very passionate about giving us better than we expected, so he chose the colour. It's not a Honda colour, it's actually a Mazda red, and because he decided that the Honda red was far too orange for a nice looking bike. So he decided the pinstripe colour, the white is a nice off-white, and the red, like I say, is a Mazda red. The engine was quite a low mileage engine, And once we got it fired up and running, we decided that it was running too well to start messing about with it. A long-term project is to do the top end, but for me now it's fine. We're using the original carburetor, but it's a CV carburetor, and for me it's not good enough for what we want it for, so a Mikuni pumper will go on eventually. The exhausts we had made, it's a contact of ours from restoring the veteran and vintage stuff. He forms all the tube himself. We sent him a template and he said bring the bike up and we'll get them fitted. So we took the bike up, got the front pipes to fit, and then we had to decide on a Y-piece collector, but he gave us a couple of off pieces of scrap. We cut them down, made it all form right, made it all sit right, and it gives it a nice sweep out onto the silencer. The silencer wasn't our original choice. We chose a little Chinese one and it just didn't look right and it didn't sound right. We picked this one up from an auto jumble. It's a Speed 111. We just dressed the Triumph logo out of it, polished it up a bit, and it sits really nicely there. We've got these number boards on the side. We formed them over our leg actually, but it just tucks this bottom corner in and stops them flaring out. These are housed on our new seat subframe and seat box underneath. The box is needed to hold all the electronics. Being a CDI bike, it needs a starter solenoid, obviously the CDI, the fuse box, and most of the wiring loom is all housed under there. I stripped most of the safety stuff out of the bike just to give it a cleaner look. So like the side stand switch, the neutral switch, things like that. Got rid of all them and made it work nicely. The seat unit is a Night style. It's from Red Max, obviously just off the shelf, nice and easy. We made a seat base. Because we've shortened the front to give it a nice short stance, we had to make our own seat base. And when we sent the seat away, we just gave them a short detailed description, just 20 mil sort of deep, nice fake leather, just so it feels nice and it's never going to wear too much. These Showa shocks, which some people that will know that a Dominator should be a single shock, but we've opted for a twin shock just for the style. It's sort of like a early 90s sort of styling flat tracker, so it needed twin shocks for us. They're off for CB 1100, an anniversary edition I think, and obviously Showa, it needs to be on Honda. Original brake, original hub, and again the new 19-inch rim laced on with the Saner spokes, again built by us. Gearing rise and sprocket rise, we're using Renthal sprockets and a DID chain. We've gained a tooth on the front and dropped a couple on the back just to give it a bit more acceleration, and obviously being a torquey engine you don't necessarily need it, but for the back roads it's great fun and it's never going to be a racer, so it doesn't need the high speed. So there's enough about the details of the bike, let's fire it up and hear it. So I hope you like the bike. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Bike Shed YouTube. How hard is it to say YouTube?